Hi, I'm Tamra. It's springtime in the Okanagan and I'm welcoming you back for another year of recipes here from Davison Orchards. Today I'm going to do two different recipes just because they're both very easy and rhubarb is in abundance right now. The first one is stewed rhubarb and the second one is just plain rhubarb muffins. Now my rhubarb muffin recipe I've had for over 40 years. I got it from a colleague at work and it's very moist and super easy, so let's get started. Rhubarb, it cooks down very quickly. The trick is to make sure that you have the pieces about the right thickness so that they cook fairly evenly. For stewed rhubarb, you need just 3 cups of chopped rhubarb, a half a cup of sugar, and just a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan to get it started. Leaves are actually toxic, so you don't want to eat any rhubarb leaves. You can actually get very sick from rhubarb leaves, but the stalks themselves are just packed full of flavor. So we've got 3 cups of rhubarb. I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of water, say like a tablespoon or 2. Three cups of rhubarb, half a cup of sugar, and just have it on really low. And I'm just going to let that stew and simmer while we make our muffins. You can add the sugar towards the end and then you won't have a problem with it sticking. I threw it in together, but I'm going to have the heat on low, so I don't think it'll be an issue. As you can see, the rhubarb is already stewed and completely broken down and ready to top on your ice cream or yogurt. So simple and so easy. And if you make more than you need, it also freezes well. I've heard about strawberries and rhubarb and how nice they pair together, but I love raspberries and rhubarb. So I'm going to pour just a tiny bit of raspberry syrup into this stewed rhubarb, just to give it another punch of flavor. And raspberry, is like rhubarb, is a very strong flavor. So you don't need to use a lot of it. And if you have rhubarb that's not very red, because there's quite a few varieties out there that aren't as red as this one, then that rhubarb will help, or the raspberry syrup will help give it extra color as too. This is a raspberry syrup that we sell at the farm. I love it on top of yogurt. I love it mixed into various fruits and a spread. It's just so many uses for it, and it's one of my favorite syrups. Next, we'll make rhubarb muffins. Turn your oven on to 375 and allow it to preheat. So it takes a half a cup of margarine, and you'll want to beat the margarine and the brown sugar together. So I'm going to put that into my mixer. 1.5 cups of brown sugar. I'll start that on. Mix those two together. And 1 egg. The brown sugar and the margarine more or less beat together. I'll add the egg. That looks about right. And the recipe calls for a cup of sour milk. I don't have sour milk, but I'm going to make my milk sour. And so to do that, you add a tablespoon of either vinegar or lemon juice to the milk. Stir it up and then just let it sit for a few minutes, and that vinegar will cause the milk to curdle. It's 2 cups of flour, a half a teaspoon each of baking powder and baking soda, and just whisk that together with a half a teaspoon of salt. And a teaspoon of vanilla. So you can either add your vanilla to your butter mixture or you can add it to your milk. I'll throw it in with my milk. You can see the milk's a bit separated, which is what we want. Okay, so now you're going to mix your dry ingredients into your butter-sugar combination. I usually start and end with dry ingredients. Next, you add your 3 cups of chopped rhubarb, and I like to chop my rhubarb fairly small, that way it cooks evenly and it ensures that it's nice and soft in the muffins. So I'm going to dump the whole thing in together and then stir it just ever so slightly because I don't want to overstir my batter. So, and mix it just till it's evenly spread throughout the batter. As you can see, that's a lot of rhubarb in there. But that's what's going to keep that and the sour milk is what's going to keep the muffins nice and moist. I've lined my muffin tin with muffin cups, and I'm using these parchment ones. I just love these parchment ones because you can pull your muffins out of the oven and eat a warm muffin, and the muffin cup doesn't stick to the batter. These are the only ones that I've ever used where you can do that. Usually if you don't let them cool completely, you lose some of your muffin to the sides of your muffin cup. So these are really nice for that. So you should get 12 good-sized muffins. Last and final step is to take a little bit of brown sugar, maybe a half a cup or so, add cinnamon to taste, and then sprinkle cinnamon and brown sugar on the top of each of your muffins before they go into the oven. There's the timer. Let's check and see how close these muffins are. Oh, they look good. See if it comes out. Perfect. Rhubarb muffins. Seasonal treat. If you found this video helpful, press the like button and subscribe for more videos.